Where did your journey begin as a yogi? How did you get into meditation?
In 1979, actually, in the summer of 1979, there were some really big life events that happened to me. There were a couple of, unfortunately, deaths that happened in my family, and people moved away, and a lot of things happened very, very quickly. So in the space of about 2 months, I went from having quite a nice, happy nucleic family to finding myself sitting alone at a kitchen table. Barely a couple of months later. I still had family, loving family around me, but everyone was getting on with their lives and had their own lives to live, so I understood that, of course. But they were still very caring and cared about me very much. But I found myself in this kind of I would call it a kind of divine vacuum, if you will. And it was really so clear that one door had closed and another door had opened. So although I was feeling the grief of the loss, and the losses actually in my life, I was also feeling and very aware of this kind of new adventure that was coming to me in some way. I didn't know what that was, but I had a sense of it, just a sense of it. Sometimes we know things, but there's no real reason why we know them, but we just know them, we just feel them, we sense them.
An intuitive sense, kind of a gut sense. But obviously, as human beings, we have attachment, we feel grief.
Yes.
So this is not a very up period of your life. You've lost dear family members, and so you're a seeker. What did you find?
Right. So the next thing that happened was I took a yoga class. That was sort of something I'd been planning to do, wanting to do anyway. And so there I was in this yoga class and really enjoying it and really flowing with it. And I really connected with the teacher of this class, who had been to India and had many, many interesting stories about India and about different teachers that he had studied with and different things that he had done in that regard. And he somehow tuned into me somewhere, and really felt that I had some kind of potential or something, or that he could sense that I had an interest, a very genuine interest in this. And not just the yoga, but in meditation, which is a kind of natural segue from the yoga that we do, the physical postures. And I would always was very, very clear that at the end of the session, after doing all these asanas and then moving and stretching and having this great time doing all these different things that I'd never done before physically, then we would lie down into shavasana. And when we did that, something happened where my attention, my being, my presence, whatever you want to call it, just went somewhere. And it was somewhere so familiar and so deep and so profound that when I came, so to speak, back, I knew I had been somewhere very special, but that it actually wasn't something separate from me. Rather, it had helped me to access something that was already within me. And that was the real key, was that it wasn't something that was different from me, separate from me, something that was going to be imported. It was already within me. And so this experience through those yoga classes gave me that kind of awareness of the opening to that which was already within me. And I definitely wanted to experience that more and on a more ongoing basis. So that's what drew me to begin meditation and to begin studying. And the yoga teacher was very much became, as I said, a great friend, and was really encouraged me and really assisted me in many ways to really start my journey and start developing in that way.